So, folks, we have another special guest. What I do is basically invite people on and let them introduce themselves and what they do, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So I'll let you have the honors.
Hi, everybody. I'm Barry Pollard. I am part of the Chrome Web Dev Rel team, working specifically on performance and the core web vital metrics and Crux. And yeah, that's me.
That's the gist of it?
Think so.
Okay. I mean, it's an oversimplification, folks. I think Barry has been a linchpin in the community as he's written at least a few books. I know the big fat one.
Well, just one book.
Just the one book. I mean,
Going to the Web Almanac and stuff like that.
I mean, yeah, I consider like the Web Almanac part of your product offering. So it's you've been very instrumental in the three editions of the Web Almanac.
I'm going to say four?
Four?
Three,
Unless you translated one, then you consider that a fourth.
You think I should know this?
19, wait, 22. There was a year that got skipped, right?
No.
Really?
19, 20, 21, 22.
19, 20, 21, 22. Okay, so four. Oh, yeah, you are right.
I think it's four.
Yeah, it might be. No, yeah. No, it might be four. Anyways, we can talk about that after. Unless we could talk about that now. No, I don't think so. So, Barry, what are you working on right now? What do you consider your priority?
So, one of the great things about my job is I don't work on just one job or one little project. I I look at lots of them. So there's quite a few things that I'm working with now. I'm working with Yoav Weiss on soft navigations. I'm working with a number of people with the pre-render stuff. With Noam on the long animation frame. And yeah, then there's the day job of just keeping our core web vitals documentation up to date. I work with Jeremy on and looking after the Web Vitals JS library.
Okay.
So yeah, there's lots of feathers to my bow. Yeah, I get to, I'm going to do a bit of work on that today, or no, I need a break from that. I'm going to do that, or I'm going to do people in the conference. So
yeah,
I like the variety of being able to dip in and out of a number of different things.
It's the spice of life, as they say.
Exactly.
So, I know you've been doing some conferencing as well. What was your last talk?
So I did a talk on better than fast loading is instant loading in Armada JS in Serbia, which is a fantastic conference, people, by the way. Consider that one. I had a great time there. That was my first time. And there I talked about a number of technologies that you can do. I mean, we talk about shaving milliseconds off here or getting an LCP under 2.5 seconds.
Yeah.
But could we go beyond that? Why are apps instant and websites, we accept the natural performance penalty of you have to fetch a page, you have to render the page and do that.
Yeah.
So things like the back forward cache,
given
instant page navigation when you go back, as long as your website works with it.
Yeah.
But then some people might argue that's cheap. You've already been there. It's not really looking at that. And then you get things like pre-render where you can, if you can predict what the next page will be, if it's, I don't know, a course and you're in step 3 of the course, you're probably going to go to step 4.
Yeah.
So you could pre-render that, and then when people click on it, it's like, oh. And some people have asked me, when does fast get too fast? You know, what do people, I've had very few, but I've had a few instances of people who said, we had to actually make it more obvious that a navigation had happened.
Yeah.
Put some UX in there to actually explain to the user because they don't expect that.
Yeah.
If that's the biggest problem we end up having, I am delighted to solve that problem.
Yeah.
Various ways to solve that.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you can do that to, rather than clicking on something and waiting, and let's be honest, whenever we're in our offices or in your at a conference with great Wi-Fi, that might not be a problem.
Yeah.
But it's all those other times when you're on a train and slow, or your kids are all stealing all your bandwidth because they're all watching YouTube.
Yeah.
Those are the things where it can really make a difference. And then with other exciting things coming up, like the View Transitions API, getting a lot of people in the CSS area excited. That's currently we're looking at working on that works in SPA applications at the minute.
Yeah.
But we have an implementation for MPA websites.
Yeah. Exactly.
And
remember those?
Yeah. You kind of lose the gains of that effect if you click on something and you wait 5 seconds and then it does a fancy animation.
Yeah.
What's the point? Or there's a talk about timeout after a time.
Yeah.
So these sorts of things will help make that more of a reality for multi-page apps and therefore open up new opportunities for to be able to do things like that.
Yep. Quickly, you mentioned, like, for example, be able to predict the next navigation, pre-rendering, say like a course. I understand you had some input on this web.dev performance course.
Yes, so we just launched a web.dev performance course. Kevin, I think, was on just before me.
Yeah, and he talked about it.
He wrote most of it in conjunction with Jeremy. I reviewed a lot of it, gave a lot of annoying nitpicking feedback. So if you find bugs in it, it's probably my fault because I was missing patches, and not Kevin's fault, or I introduced them some through the editing process.
Exactly.
But yeah, we got quite a few courses on web.dev. I think we learn CSS, learn accessibility, learn HTML, and now you learn performance. And they're free. You just go there, you work your way through the tutorial. Remember where you got to last time, if because you won't be able to complete them all in one day.
Whatever. Oh, not too close to my laptop. Oh, I don't want this thing spilling.
Yeah, so people can check those out and learn the fundamentals of the web for free. And work your way through those and see what you do. So definitely check that out. That was only launched this week. In time for this conference.
Okay.
We're planning on adding more modules to it, so there's a good chunk of stuff there. But we've got a lot of almost finished modules as well, so you'll see new ones being released over the next coming weeks.
Nice. Yeah, I was talking to Kevin about it because I remember hearing about it at, speaking of Rick, Mr. Rick Viscomi over at WordCamp. He had mentioned it because I was actually talking about that idea simply because, again, I was talking about the fact that, this is not necessarily a conference for someone who's brand new to performance. It might be a little much. Like, I could only imagine them listening to like Robin or like Tim. They might be like, okay, what's going on here? But there's still, I'm sure I've seen, there's a large community of people who are still being introduced.
That's the thing. There are some fantastic talks here and some fantastic speakers.
Yeah.
But honestly, that's not the best part of the conference. The best part of the conference is the whole way track.
Yeah.
You get to know people. I came here myself in 2019 for the first time.
Yeah.
And I was brand new to this. I'd written some blog posts.
Yeah.
In
the book.
But I didn't know anyone in the community. I didn't work for Google at the time. I didn't work for any big companies. I was just a regular developer trying to make my way along in life.
Yeah.
I came here and I met everyone, all my heroes.
Yeah.
In one day. But
then you're like, it's over.
And they were like so friendly. I was new to it, or I didn't know anyone.
Oh, come on. If they didn't look down on me, believe me, they'd be fine with you.
But I came by myself. I worked for a small company at the time, and amazing getting budget to send myself, never mind anyone else. So I was like, okay, I've got 2 days here where I won't know anyone in a foreign city. And a great time. I met loads of people.
Awesome.
2-3 years later, I'm working with them.
Yeah, I remember your tweet. You're like, I can't believe I'm here. This is awesome. But I think there's something to be said for people who are really like, passionate about this community. As much as it's grown since that moment, and even before that, it's still not that big. And I don't know who. I think it might have been a group of us. Oh, I was talking to Andy Davies specifically. It's like, how do we get new people into the community, new, fresh new blood and whatnot, as they like to say. So, it starts with, courses like the one that they've put out.
And like you say, there is a lot of hardcore niche stuff, Robin Stock, for example, where it's getting into nitty-gritty details. But there's also some more accessible talk. And the things like this, if you come to a conference and take away 10% of the stuff that you got told at this conference, that is an amazing boost up.
Yeah.
Or even learn about it. And the other great thing about the web performance community is they're really willing to share.
Yeah.
There's an awful lot of people blogging that. Google ourselves, we do a lot of documentation and stuff like that. So even if you get a hint of that looks interesting, didn't totally follow the talk, you can go and look it up. You can read more in it. These talks are all put on YouTube, made available initially for subscribers, but they
eventually they'll make their way to like,
and check out last year's talk and the year before. And an amazing resource of just going through that and seeing how it's evolved and what's coming in, and things that were niche a few years ago are now like core web vitals and all that, are now in commonplace, and a lot more people know about it.
Absolutely.
So don't be afraid that I'm not a web performance expert. I can't come to this thing. Yeah, and Amsterdam's a great city, and
Yeah.
trust me,
When
we'll
it's
have a
not
good time.
raining,
Yeah, this year is definitely a little bit rainy.
it's just like, again, Mother Nature's like, I don't know, man. Someone annoyed her.
Well, you see, I'm from Ireland. I'm used to this. It
Oh,
makes me
this
feel
is
at home.
horrible. Oh man, this is horrible. I don't know how you do it. But man, Barry, thanks for stopping by.
No
I mean,
problem.
I appreciate it. I think you've done amazing work in this community. From the original book to like present day. You're active. I need to learn how to do some writing too. So I might have to ping you about that.
Do
You know?
do. Yeah, no, I love writing and I love speaking to the community. So if any of you have any questions, feel free.
Yeah.
I'm pretty available on Twitter.
And I was gonna say, like, that's my last question. Like, how do we get in touch with you?
So Twitter's where I'm still desperately hanging on.
We both are, man. We both are. I hate it, but we both are.
I am on Mastodon. I don't follow as much. I don't find the
Yeah.
X as nice.
Yeah.
I refuse to call it X. It's Twitter.
I
It will
know.
always be
It is
Twitter.
Twitter. Period.
The WebPerf Slack is another great resource that I hang around a lot there.
Yeah.
That's invite only, so ping me and I will get you an invite. It's a bit annoying. They had a problem with spanners, so they had to close it down.
Yeah.
But there's thousands of people in there, and there's lots of great chats on there from all ranges, from beginners to things. So
Yeah.
I'm very active in that, and yeah, as I say, Twitter's the easiest way to reach out to me.
Awesome.
And do that, and yeah, I'm pretty open and accepting for questions, no matter how silly you feel they are.
Yeah.
I get paid to talk to
Hey,
you and help
there you
people.
go, man. You can't be mad at that. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, sir. Well, thank you. Thank you for coming. Is this a Git Nation?
This is
Oh my God! And this
did
is
it.
like French cherry too. This is actually pretty good.
This is actually one of my favorite bits of swag.
Okay,
It's really comfy.
I'm gonna email them and let them know I'm a size small. I might put out my own merch soon. So watch out. Stay tuned.
Speaker swag. So just submit it.
Okay. So this is your favorite, and this was speaker swag.
Yeah.
All right, I gotta talk with them coming up in a couple of weeks. So
You might get one
actually,
of
I
these.
may have to consult some of these slides to add some material. So this is
All right.
good. All right, sir. Thank you again.
Cheers.
That was Barry Pollard from the good people at Google. Good dude. Lots of fantastic work he's done. So I'm glad to have him join us, as he said he would yesterday.